Hello, everyone, and welcome, my friends, to this beautiful challenge on magnetic confidence, a challenge exclusively for women. I want to welcome you, as usual, with a humongous hug because we're going to be on a journey together for the next 5 days to become more powerful and express your potential. Just to do a little fun and easy warm-up while everyone is connecting, please let me know in the chat where you're connecting from and which part of the world you're in. I'm very curious, are there any guys here? I'm watching the chat. Hello from Jakarta, from London, India, Uruguay, Seattle, Los Angeles, very beautiful. I usually love the variety on Mindvalley. New York, Bulgaria, Germany, Belgium. I love this. Are there any guys here or not? I have a feeling it's only women. That's beautiful. So guys, now a few things to get you set up for this transformation. Number one, quick logistics side before we jump in. You're going to be training with Rolene. So this experience is deeply transformational, exciting. And one thing you have to know is that once our speaker is on stage, she's going to be training you on a few incredible topics. So be prepared to take notes. Number two, submit the questions in the Q&A box somewhere on the right side of the screen at any point of this session, upvote, and then we're more than happy to address them. Number three, dedicate time and focus and playful out. Don't come here 50%. Number four, show up, take part, and stand a chance to win one of the Mindvalley's premier certification programs or memberships. Are you allowing yourself to be measured by society's version of the perfect woman? With Miss World 2014 winner and coach Rolene Strauss as your guide, you'll gain breakthrough tools and practices that turn magnetic confidence into a skill you and anyone can master. You will begin your challenge with a deeper understanding of what self-confidence really is and what is not. And here you will discover why the idea that some people are just born confident is completely wrong, and how the right steps, even the most shy and introvert, can develop self-confidence as a skill that sticks with you for the rest of your life. And there is no other person better than Rolene to get you on this beautiful journey. So my friends, you are in the right place. And now I'm more than happy to give the stage to Rolene Strauss. So please, all of you, let's give a warm welcome to Rolene. Rolene, welcome.
Thank you very much, Bianca. Thank you, everyone. It is such an honor for me to be here with you and to spend the next 5 days with all of you. It just warms my heart to see that you are joining in from across the world. And it is such an honor for me once again to be here. I'm quickly going to share my screen. So a few questions for you before we start. Are you yearning for the confidence to reach your full potential? And if that is you, just put up your hand in the chat. I'd love to know. Do you feel that perhaps your lack of self-confidence is stealing your joy, your peace, or your potential? Are you ready to become a powerful, confident woman? If that is you, then this challenge is just for you. And congratulations on taking that first step towards a more confident you. And thank you for spending and choosing to spend the next 5 days with me. I know that time is our most valuable, non-renewable resource. And I do not take it lightly that you decided to spend your time with me. And I will make sure that I do everything in my power to make it well worth your time. So once again, thank you. I really hope that you will be able to get something valuable out of our time together. So welcome to 5 days to magnetic confidence. And I want to share with you before we start why I believe that this challenge is different. There are so many resources out there, videos, courses, online material that teaches you how to become more confident. And if you Google, how do I become more confident, you'll get thousands of results. And most of these results ask you to believe in yourself, to know your worth, to not react to your self-limiting beliefs. And even though all of these are true, how do you practically implement that? And when I was at a stage in my life where I had a lack of self-confidence, where I desperately wanted to reach my full potential, but I felt stuck and I felt that something is holding me back, I wanted to know what the steps are, what the practical things were that I could do to help me develop my confidence. And this is why this challenge is different. On this challenge, throughout the next 5 days, I'm going to be holding your hand and I'm going to guide you through every single step. And I'm going to do this in a very practical, achievable, and sustainable way. So I want you to finish this challenge with something practical to do, something to implement. And I really want you to know what that next step is for you. So by the end of this challenge, you will not only be more confident and powerful and have taken that step towards a more confident and powerful you, but you're going to have a step-by-step blueprint and you're going to know exactly how to develop your confidence and use this skill for years to come. This is not going to be that one thing where you learn to do something, you have this amazing confidence for a few days and then it just fades away. I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to use this for weeks, months, and years to come. And I really hope that that will be true for you. So what can you expect in this challenge? In this challenge, you will first of all discover that self-confidence is a skill that you can develop whether you think you were born with it or not. And we're going to speak about that today. Next, you will discover practical steps to develop your self-confidence, whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. A lot of us think that when we are introverts, we don't really have the capacity to be confident, but I'm going to bust that myth for you. And lastly, you'll discover ways in which you can ensure that your newly developed self-confidence will last for years to come. We are going to make sure that your confidence is built on a rock-solid foundation and that it's something that you can use for years and years to come. Does that sound good to you? Let me know if that sounds good to you. So we've all attended various seminars. We have done various online courses, and specifically people on here with us today I know that you are really fond of personal growth, and that you've probably attended a few online courses or webinars or seminars or challenges, but have you felt that you have this amazing fire starting within you, and then a week later, life starts happening, and this fire slowly but surely starts to weaken. And then a life happened, and you didn't really do what you set out to do. You didn't really feel like this is something that is sustainable for years to come. So I don't want that to happen. And there are a few things that we incorporated in this challenge to make sure that what you learn here will be valuable for you for years to come. The first thing is the amazing tribe of women that is on this journey, that are on this journey with you. I have been looking at the Facebook group, and it is heating up with comments and women introducing themselves, sharing bits of their journeys, of their backgrounds. And that is a priceless and valuable aspect of this challenge. You have thousands of women on this journey with you to keep you accountable, to keep you motivated. So make your connections, make friends, make sure that you make use of this incredible tribe. Then on the last day, on day 5, I will be guiding you through a self-confidence meditation, a meditation that you can use as often as you would like. I will be guiding you through 7 phases of self-confidence meditation to make sure that whenever you use this, you are just once again making sure that what you learn sticks, and that you have these skills for the rest of your life to come. And we will also be sharing ways in which you can, when the challenge ends, ways in which you can personalize your self-confidence journey moving forward to make sure that you are taking that right step, committing and recommitting. Apart from committing to this challenge and developing your confidence, recommitting to make sure that you stay on track and that you work on your confidence. So we really want this to be a long-lasting effect. I'm not sure about you, but when I embark on a growth journey and when I open myself up to learning, it is so important for me to know that I'm in a safe space. And I bet you that each and every one of you want to be in a safe space. We are women, and confidence is a very touchy subject. Confidence is something that we don't often talk about, and we are opening various different areas of our hearts and of our lives with one another. So in order for me to create a safe space for you, I'm not sitting in front of you inside of a room like I usually am with my coaching clients. We are in a virtual world, and I'm going to need your help to make sure that we create this safe space for everyone around us. Let me just see. I think my screen stopped sharing. Let me just share it again. Okay, so I'm going to need your help with regards to creating a safe space. So can we agree on the following? Number 1, this is a non-judgment zone. We are not going to judge one another. We are, most importantly, not going to judge ourselves. What is sharing here and what is being shared here is safe here. And thirdly, we are going to show unconditional positive regard and love towards one another in the group, in the Facebook tribe, in the community, but also towards ourselves. So every time you feel like you are judging, like you are not treating yourself with unconditional positive regard and love, just make a note of that and try to change that. So if you agree on these agreements to make this a safe space, comment a heart or just a yes in the chat so that we all know this is a safe space for us to grow and to transform into those magnetic, confident women that we really want to be. Okay. I see so many of you pasting your hearts and your yeses. I'm so happy to see that. So while I was on the Facebook group, I saw so many women posting their stories, and it was amazing for me to read through those. And I picked just a few to highlight. As we are all on the Facebook group, this is a safe environment. I felt safe to share this. But I saw messages like Patricia, for instance, saying that she's English, living in France, and I'm joining this course because everyone thinks I'm confident and in control. That is me, and that is the me that I put out there. But inside, I don't really feel like this. I'm hoping to make the outside me the real me. Who's with Patricia? I know that I've gone through times in my life where I had to fake it till I make it, where I had to put up this front of being confident, self-assured, and self-worthy, but that was the opposite of what I was feeling. If this is you, just put up your hand. Patricia, you're not alone, and we're going to try to do something about that. Felicity posted a beautiful piece. I'm just going to read the first part because I thought that what she said was so beautifully said. For me, it's to step into my confidence with assurance and to know how to maintain this confidence power, taking back my power to love me and to be consistent in believing I can do all things and that nothing is impossible. That is so well said, Felicity. I think that just gives everyone on here goosebumps because we really aspire to believe and to feel like that. So thank you once again for sharing. Keep on sharing. Like Bianca mentioned, we'll be giving away amazing giveaways on day 3, 4, and 5, specifically to those who are most active in the Facebook group. So keep up the good work. And as we'll be spending some time together, is it okay with you if I share my personal self-confidence, or rather personal struggle with self-confidence story with you? Because I think it's so important for you to know why I feel like I'm able to contribute to your journey and why I feel like there are so many things that we can learn together, because a lot of people need to feel like they can identify with someone in a platform like this. So thank you so much. I see everyone is agreeing to me sharing my story. So as you know, I'm Rolene and I am from South Africa. I grew up in a very, very small town in South Africa in the province of Mpumalanga. And this was the young, small town South African girl who had stars in her eyes and believed in big dreams. She had big, big dreams. And I think the only thing bigger than her dreams were probably her one front tooth, as you can see. But I grew up in a very protected environment where my parents taught my brother and I that we can do anything we put our minds to. And at the age of 16, I had an amazing opportunity to travel abroad to Paris in France for modeling. I was scouted locally in my small town and I embarked on this modeling career. And at the age of 16, I was on my way to Paris when something within me started to change. For me to be able to travel to Paris, I had to have certain measurements. I found myself in front of an elderly lady on my way to Paris, measuring every inch of me. And she took a measuring tape and she measured my hip circumference. 95 centimeters, she said. We'll have to get it down to at least 90 centimeters, little lady. And in that moment, in that instance, something within me changed. The little girl who believed she could do anything she wanted to do, slowly but surely was chipped away. The confidence that I had in my own abilities, in my future, was chipped away. And this measuring tape became something that I carried with me, not necessarily physically a measuring tape, but measuring my worth against what society wanted me to be. I started measuring every inch of me, my curly hair. I was teased about my curly hair and I never felt good enough. I measured my ability to follow in the footsteps of my dad, who was a medical doctor. And in South Africa, it's not that easy to get accepted to study medicine. So I constantly felt like, am I good enough to study medicine? Am I good enough to get accepted to study medicine? And when I got accepted to study medicine, am I good enough to actually become as a good doctor as my dad? And as I set out these goals and thought that if I prove myself, I might regain my confidence through a degree, that didn't happen. In 2014, I had the opportunity to enter Miss South Africa. And when I won the Miss South Africa title, I still did not have my confidence back. I went on to participate at Miss World in London in 2014. And as soon as they put that blue crown on my head, the last thing that happened was a surge of confidence, because I felt thousands of eyes on me, watching my every move, watching what I look like, what I eat, constantly measuring myself and wondering whether I am good enough. Even when I became a wife and a mother, I was still wondering whether I'm a good enough mom, a good enough wife. Our eldest son was born during the final years of my medical studies that I had to pause for Miss South Africa and Miss World, went back to study medicine. And I still remember sitting in front of my Obs and Gynae books, studying for an exam with my little boy in the one hand breastfeeding and my books on the other, and wondering, there should be more to life than constantly trying to be perfect. Are you constantly trying to be perfect? Are you constantly measuring yourself against what others think you should be? Because what happens is we measure our own weaknesses against others' strengths. And in that way, we always fall short. That steals the confidence that we have. And I thought for a long time that confidence lies in a crown or a sash or a degree or in becoming a mom or marry the man of my dreams. But that didn't work. Confidence does not lie in things that are constantly changing. Things like what you look like, how much money you have. And in 2019, I embarked on this journey of rediscovering who I am and rediscovering that confidence that I lost. And I decided to do my master's degree in philosophy and coaching, specifically focusing on confidence in women. Because I know that confidence is one of the biggest struggles that all of us face on a daily basis. I did some research on my Instagram account. I asked women between the ages of 18 and 40, what are the biggest things that you struggle with? And the number one struggle most women struggle with is confidence. So I decided to do my research, my coaching, hours and hours of this master's degree, specifically focusing on that and discovering and developing tools and techniques that we can use, first of all, that I could use, and second of all, things that I can share with women who also struggle with the same things that I struggle with. So in last year, I wrote my book, Rediscover Your Self-Confidence, 7 Steps to a New You. And that's why we're here today. My bold promise to you by the end of our session, specifically today, is that you will discover why self-confidence is a skill that you can develop and a skill that will help you reach your wildest dreams, even if you don't believe you're able to do that yet. You will also be aware of the impact a lack of self-confidence has specifically on you in this moment in time. And hopefully by the end of the session, you'll experience a surge of hope in the journey ahead, a surge of confidence in your growth for the journey ahead. So after discovering these amazing tools, techniques through hours of coaching and implementing and practicing it on me and my coaching clients, I can finally say that even though it's continuous work to make sure that you develop that skill called self-confidence, I'm really at a place in my life where I've stopped measuring myself against what others think I should be, where I'm happy with where I am, with what I look like, with my health, with my family. And yes, you get those days where you feel like you just don't feel like you're good enough. But I really, really believe in what I'm about to share with you today. And I really hope that it will be valuable for you too. So most people think that you're either born with self-confidence or born without it. But what is self-confidence really? And we're really going to hone in on that today, because I think it's so important to realize what self-confidence is before we actually start developing our self-confidence. So I would love to know from, to know from you, what do you think is self-confidence? Let me know in the chat. What do you think is self-confidence to you? I'd love to hear what your take is on self-confidence. Loving yourself unconditionally, alignment with your soul, your ability to trust yourself, not doubting your own abilities, self-worth, self-love, belief in yourself, being bold. I love that. I love all of those definitions. And I believe that self-confidence embraces and basically, all of those can be named under self-confidence. But the one definition that I would like to share with you today is a much more practical definition. And that is that self-confidence is a skill. Self-confidence is a skill, and it's a skill that you can develop. And the beautiful thing about this skill called self-confidence is that it magnifies your already existing skills, talents, and potential. It's a magnifier of what God already put inside of you. It's a magnifier of what you have, of your skills, talents, and potential. And that obviously includes you believing in your own abilities, believing in who you are, having self-worth and self-love. But if there's one thing that I want you to remember today, it is that self-confidence is a skill that magnifies your already existing skills, talents, and potential. I had this coaching client who really struggled with her confidence, but she had an amazing skill and talent with numbers. She was excellent at numbers and finances. And she came to me because she felt like a lack of self-confidence is holding her back in her career. And even though she had everything she could have to be the chief financial officer of the specific company that she worked for, she didn't have the confidence to do that. And we started our self-confidence development journey. And it was about 4 months in, after using these tools and techniques that I'll be sharing with you now, that she developed her confidence to such a degree that her skills and her talents were magnified for other leaders within the company to see that. And they actually approached her to apply for this chief financial officer role, and she actually got the job just because all of these things that she had was magnified by the skill called self-confidence. So if I could use a metaphor for what self-confidence really is, I want you to look at your life and see your current life as a tree. This tree has roots, it has a stem, and it has leaves. The roots, those are the skills, talents, and potential that you already have. The things that you know you have. And the sad thing about us as women is we don't always recognize what we already have. And that's something that we're going to do today. Doesn't matter how difficult it is, we're going to go through that today. But these roots of your tree, that's your already existing skills, talents, and potential. And self-confidence is the fertilizer that you use to nourish this tree, to nourish what you already have. And once you use self-confidence as a fertilizer to nourish, you can actually grow and grow your tree to such a degree where it's able to bear fruit, and where the fruit of your labor is there for the world to benefit from. So I want you to see self-confidence as that, because it's so easy to put an emotional connotation to what self-confidence really is. Because to say the truth, or to tell the truth, self-confidence is so different for all of us. But today I want you to know that self-confidence is a skill. It's a skill that you can develop. Do you sometimes think that self-confidence and being self-confident is selfish? Because that's an objection I always get when I start speaking about confidence and self-confidence. A lot of people think that it's selfish, that it's arrogant, I can't have too much self-confidence. And in South Africa, we have a certain culture where women feel like they should not have too much self-confidence. So if this is an objection that you have at the moment, I want you to think of it in the following way. First of all, do you believe that you have certain gifts and talents, God-given gifts and talents, that was bestowed on you, that you've been gifted in order to make a difference to those around you? So do you think it's selfish to gain the confidence to actually use those gifts and talents, to actually shine the gifts and talents that you have? I think it's the least selfish thing you can do. And if we don't have the confidence in the right way, based on the right foundation, then that will prevent us from shining. I think that's where a lot of you are at the moment. You feel like there's something holding you back, something keeping you from reaching your full potential, from making the change in the world, from standing up and speaking in front of that crowd, from applying to that job, or getting up and speaking to this certain person. A lack of self-confidence is keeping you from doing that. And that is why I believe that self-confidence is the least selfish thing you can have if you develop it in a sustainable way and based on the right foundation. I want to tell you the following story just to prepare you for what might be happening to you in the next 5 days and the months after. So it's a story about a prisoner in a concentration camp who got a hold of a small makeshift radio during World War II. So this prisoner got a hold of a makeshift radio, and the one evening while everyone was sleeping, he turned the dials until he could hear a faint noise. And through the background noise, he heard a presenter who he couldn't hear much, but the one thing that he did hear was, "The war is over." And he was overwhelmed with joy, but he couldn't tell anyone else. And the next morning, it was clear that the guards were not aware of this yet. They weren't aware of the news that the war was over. And he is still in prison, but his heart and his mind was free. Despite the fact that he was living in the worst conditions imaginable, the other prisoners also started commenting about the light that was shining from him and through him. And he had the confidence and hope of a brighter future. So I would like you to remember the story about the soldier, and would like to prepare you for something magical that is going to happen to you, that usually happens with my coaching clients when we start this transformational process. And that is that during the next 5 days, we'll be spending time together. A new fire and energy and a new hope will awaken within you. But the world around you will not have changed yet. So this new self-confidence fire within you will start to magnify your already existing skills, talents, and potential, but the world will not have changed yet. But don't be discouraged, because while the world hasn't realized it yet, it's only a matter of time before your magnificent and magnified potential will start to change the world around you. So, you know that saying that when you start a healthy lifestyle, after 2 weeks, you'll feel it, after 4 weeks, you'll see it, and after 8 weeks, you'll hear it. This is very similar. So when you go out and you have this fire within you, but the world doesn't realize that yet, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a matter of time before they hear that the war is over as well. So I just want to prepare you for that, to make sure that you are aware that that might happen. So today is the first day. Today is the first day of you taking that step towards a more confident, a more powerful you. You get a second chance today. I know that there are things that happen to you that you might not be able to change, things that impact you, your confidence, your self-worth, but today you have a second chance. Today is the first day. Are you ready? I hope that you're ready. So I hope that all of you know that self-confidence is a skill. But what is the truth when it comes to self-confidence impact on our lives? Once upon a time, there was a small fish. And this small fish used to swim next to her mom in the ocean. And every day she would ask her mom, "Mom, where is the sea?" And the mom would say, "My dear, the sea is in you. It's around you. Everywhere you look is the sea." But the small fish could not understand. And the next day they were swimming again. And the little fish asked her mom, "Mom, where's the sea?" And the mom said, "My dear, the sea is in you. It's around you. Everywhere you look is the sea." And this continued for days on end. "Mom, where is the sea? My dear, the sea is in you. It's around you. Everywhere you look is the sea." And the one day, the little fish swam very close to the sea surface. And all of a sudden, a bird caught the fish and picked her up in the sky. And as the fish looked down, she saw the sea. And as she wiggled, she got loose from the bird. She fell back into the ocean. She swam to her mom and she said, "Mom, I finally understand. The sea is in me. It's around me. Everywhere I look is the sea." When it comes to your self-confidence, the confidence that you have is in you. It's around you. Everywhere you go, this confidence goes with. It's a part of you. It's part of your being. And as women, we rarely speak about our struggle with self-confidence because it seems so superficial and selfish. But the thing is, and the sad truth is, for most of us, self-confidence, or rather our lack of self-confidence, is almost like a pebble being thrown into the ocean or into a pond. It circles out far wider than we anticipate. And just like this little fish not understanding where the ocean is, just like us not understanding what confidence is and what impact it has on our lives, when we step back and take a look from the sky, take an objective look on our lives and the impact that confidence has on our lives, we finally realize that it can really impact all areas of our being. And it's been proven in research that confidence has the ability to influence all of the following. And I'm going to read just a few things that your confidence or your lack of confidence can influence. And I want you to think of what areas of your life has your confidence impacted so far. And as I'm going to read this, put up your hand if I say something that you know is true for you. So confidence and your self-confidence can impact how negatively or positively you think. Every single day, every thought, how negatively or positively you think. It can impact your behavior, what you do on a daily basis. It can impact the amount of stress you experience. With a lack of confidence in your abilities and who you are, the possibility of you experiencing more stress on a daily basis is also true. Confidence can even impact your ability to cope with change. It can impact how much effort you put into a given task and also your ability to perform well. Your confidence can also impact your ability to succeed at tasks you set out to do, to succeed at goals you set for yourself. And this one is very important. Your confidence can impact your susceptibility to depression. This is where it gets really, really realistic. Your confidence is like a pebble being thrown into your life, and it impacts so many areas of your life. And I know this is really hard to go have a look at what self-confidence is impacting, but for us to move forward, we have to know where we are at this moment. And what we're going to do now is a little awareness exercise that I usually do with my coaching clients. And I want you to really experience this full out, because this is going to be a great step and a great foundation for the rest of the week. It might be difficult because you're going to think of things that you not necessarily want to think of. But if you will allow me to guide you through this, I'm going to ask you to just make sure that you close all of the tabs on your computer, that your phone is on silent, that your hubby or whoever is looking after the kids, just make sure that you give me all of your attention. And if you agree, I would love to take you through this guided practice. Let me know if you're in. Okay, I see the yeses coming in so far. Okay, so what I want you to do is sit back. I'm just going to tilt this. Sit back with your back supported, your head free. And then we're all going to close our eyes. And I'm going to guide you through this guided practice. So first of all, we're going to gain awareness of our senses. So with your back supported and your head free, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Now draw your attention on what you can hear. What is the most prominent thing you can hear? And just focus on that. What is the most subtle thing you can hear? Is it the wind blowing outside? Perhaps cars driving by? The kids in the background? What is the most subtle thing you can hear at this moment? Then focus on what you can feel. What is the most prominent thing you can feel right now? The chair beneath your back, the ground beneath your feet. What is the most prominent thing you can feel right now? And move your focus to the most subtle thing you can feel. Your hair tickling your neck, or the air leaving your nose. What is it that you can taste? Perhaps the coffee you just drank. What can you taste at this moment? What is it that you can smell? Are you smelling anything? Just focus your attention on your sense of smell. With your eyes still closed, what can you see? Bright light in front of you, or perhaps just small dots? Just focus on what you can see. What is the emotion that you're currently feeling? Are you excited? Are you perhaps anxious about the week ahead? Are you happy? There's no right, there's no wrong. We're just acknowledging what we're feeling at the moment. Now we're going to focus on all of our senses at the same time. So hear what you're hearing, feel what you're feeling, taste what you're tasting, smell what you're smelling, see what you're seeing, and feel that emotion that you're currently feeling all at once. And as you relax your feet, your hands, your neck, I want you to think of one skill that you have. And if you feel yourself saying, I don't have any, refocus your attention on one thing that you are really good at. One thing that you're good at. Now dig deep and think of a God-given talent that you have. A talent that you have that can make the world a better place. Now focus your attention on what you would be like if you were to reach your full potential. What is your full potential? With your skill, your talent, and your potential in mind, I want you to reflect on what impact your lack of self-confidence at the moment has on this skill, this talent, and this potential. Is it perhaps keeping you from using it? Is it keeping you from reaching your full potential? Is that impacting your daily actions, the way you think? And think of one instance, a moment that you can remember where a lack of confidence has impacted you negatively. Now I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And imagine having all of the confidence that you want and that you choose to magnify this skill, this talent, and this potential of yours. What would happen? What would happen to you And what would happen to the people around you? As of now, everything and anything is possible. And as you're currently in that sphere and in that moment of you having the confidence to magnify this skill, this talent and potential, just drink that in. What are you feeling? What are you doing? Now I want you to take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And slowly start moving your toes and your hands. And then slowly start opening your eyes. Okay. Any ideas, anything that you've experienced? So what I did with you now was take you through a process where we come to our senses, where we're absolutely present in where we are at the moment, what we are feeling, what we are sensing, not rejecting anything, just accepting what we are and where we are at the moment. And then using that state of alpha, I almost want to say, to focus on a skill, a talent, and a potential that we already have within us, but that's not fully shown and fully lived out in our lives because of a lack of confidence. So, what would happen if you could magnify these skills, talents, and potential? What would magnify? And I want you to, before we see one another again, and I don't like to call this homework because I don't want it to be work, but I want you to use this guided reflective exercise that we've just gone through to write down your existing skills, talents, and potential that you would like to magnify. This is the first step, acknowledging what you have deep inside. And if you really find this difficult to do, literally take your phone and WhatsApp or send a message to a family member, a friend, and a colleague and ask them, what do you think I'm good at? My family members and friends often get messages asking them, what do you think I'm good at? And they think I'm completely crazy. But just ask them, what do you think I'm good at? What do you think is my skill? What's my superpower? What do you think God entrusted with me to do here with my life? And get some clarity on what you would like to magnify with this confidence, because confidence is just not just merely a thing that we can use or do or have or not. It's something, it's a skill that we should use in a very strategic way. So tomorrow, when we get together again, I want you to write this down. I want you to have this with you. What is it that you would like to magnify with your confidence? I see a lot of comments on, I transcended to another level. So the reason why I do that is just to get, the world is so noisy and everything happening all at once keeps us from truly reflecting and truly thinking deeply about who we are and what we have to give. And that's why that exercise is just so powerful. So let me just look at the time. We have about 8 minutes left together. And what I've learned from my husband, actually, he does this every time we do something, is we debrief. We talk about what struck us, just to make sure that what happened in our session now sticks with you, it stays with you, and you remember what stood out for you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But before I do that, before we go into what struck us, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. And I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what might happen tomorrow. So are you perhaps wondering how the development of your self-confidence could be sustainable and could last? Because I know a lot of people think that, I'm more confident now, but would that last? Do you feel like your emotions are sometimes standing between you and your confidence? Are your emotions sometimes standing between you and your confidence? If this is some of the questions that you have, by the end of tomorrow, you will have answers and some solutions for these. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. But before we say goodbye, I would love to hear from you. What struck you? What are you taking with you after today's session? And if we have time, Bianca, you can actually, I will tell you if there's anyone, is there anyone here who would like to share that with us so that Bianca can put you on the stage for you to share. If you would like to share physically on screen, just raise your hand and then I'll know. But some of the questions or some of the things that I see is that self-confidence is a skill. It can be learned. Wonderful. Self-confidence can be developed. We always measure our own weaknesses against others' strengths. Lovely. The feeling of openness and blue freedom. I would love to share. Okay, I see someone would love to share. Sejal Gupta. Bianca, I'm not sure if you saw her. Sejal.
Beautiful. Just 1 second. I'm promoting the person right now.
So while Sejal is going to join us, I see people say to take a step back and focus on the bigger picture, the sea. And that actually works in so many areas of our lives. Another one, Diane says, confidence affects every aspect of our lives. Yes. Hi, Sejal.
Yes, and talk to you. So I'm Sejal and I am 16 years old. And as a teen, it's like really hard to be confident within ourselves because we have so many insecurities. We have the world telling us that you should look a certain way, you should have hair a certain way. If you get acne, you're like considered to be like you and stuff. And I relate to the curly thing hair. Even I have curly hair. So there are people making fun of me for that. So when I sat here and I followed your practice, there's one thing that I realized that there's more to myself and my identification than just my looks. Then there's more to my identity than just my personality or certain aspects to me. There are some things I realized that I have the ability within me to make people feel heard and understood. I have the ability to spread kindness and motivate others and empower others. And that's really made me more confident within myself. Yeah, so it's
wonderful.
amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing. I know that it's sometimes difficult to talk about these things. So thank you very much for sharing. And I think you are so right. I'm not sure about you, but previously when I heard the word self-confidence, automatically you think of what you look like and you base your confidence on that. But you are so right. There are so much more to confidence and to us than what we look like. And we're going to deep dive into that specifically in day 3 as well. So thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you so much for providing me with the opportunity.
Oh. Okay, we have 3 more minutes left. Maybe we can bring up one more person before we end our session tonight. Is there anyone, or today, depending on where you are in the world, anyone else who would like to share? I'm just scrolling through the comments.
There was Melanie. I'm trying to promote her. And
okay, so Melanie, we're going to bring you up.
Melanie, you're now live. You'll have to activate your microphone and your webcam if you feel comfortable. Okay, here we go, Melanie.
Thank
Hi,
you,
Melanie.
Rolly. Thank you, Rolly, and I should thank you for this seminar, and your presentation is just awesome. Everything you presented, especially the metaphors that you presented, so impacted my mind. The story of the first person from Facebook that you presented, that was me. I've been faking being confident for so many years, but inside my heart is shaking as I'm standing there trying to look confident. And my heart is busy beating faster than how many rounds of cycles per second that I can't even measure, but nobody can see it. And I'm presenting myself. But I reached a stage in my life now at over 65 years old. I'm almost 67. And I said, I have so much to give to this world. I need to have that strength to be able to present it, even though I'm almost 67. And looking for how I can develop my confidence. And through Mindvalley, this came up. I said, gee, this is falling in line with what I am thinking, because I'm entering a stage where I told myself there is no such thing as retirement for me. I'm entering a new life journey at over 65. I'm creating a new career for myself, but I need to be able to express it more confidently than I did in the past half century of my life. Yeah. And this confidence journey with you is exactly what I needed, and I'm so grateful to be with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing, Melanie. And I think so many of us can relate to that, putting up this facade of being confident, but yet not being that. And I think the bigger the gap between what we think we should be and what we try to be and what we really want to be, the bigger that gap, the more strain and emotional strain and pressure we carry with us. So when we can close that gap, and like you've mentioned, you've realized that what you have to give and what you have to say is so important, and more important than you not having the confidence to do that. That is a wonderful motivation to develop the skill called self-confidence. I'm really excited to see what you're able to develop and what you can do in the next 5 years and then leading after that. So thank you for sharing, Melanie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bianca. And thank you everyone for joining. I am really looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to go deeper, and remember to write down your skills, your talents, and your potential. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Also remember to be really live and active on the Facebook group. Even share what you're taking, what struck you, what you're taking from today's session in the Facebook group. I can't wait to read it. Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you, Rolene. This was such a beautiful session, and being here on the backstage is really an honor for me, because I'm transforming at the same time with thousands of people from around the world with your guidance, and I'm very, very grateful for this. It was so beautiful. Rolene, before we jump out of the session, please let us know where we can find you. Is there an Instagram page or website?
Yes, so the easiest way would be to go on Instagram and just search for Rolene Strauss, R-O-L-E-N-E, Strauss with a double S, and make sure that you look for the blue tick, that it is the right one. So you're welcome to follow me on Instagram, and I can't wait to see you there.
All right. Thank you so much, Rolene. Guys, friendly reminder, don't forget to be active on the group. Do your homework, inspire and impact as many people as you can. And we will be choosing the winners in the last days of the challenge. I'm also on the Facebook group, and I'm reading your posts. Congratulations to all of you that are taking actions there. This being said, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an honor to share this beautiful space with you and with Rolene. I can't wait for the next days. And see you guys tomorrow at the same hour. Have a beautiful morning or evening, wherever you are. Rolene, have a beautiful evening, I guess.
Yes, evening here. Thank you, Bianca. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.